posted?
Yes.
Okay.
Commission now take up the matter of applications for special one-day alcohol beverage licenses for just beer and wine only, or either one. Cumani La Captain for Saturday, October 4th, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. This being a fundraiser for the Buddhist Temple at 41 Bernier Street, Lowell. Scheduled to be held at the Hellenic Cultural Center at 41 Broadway. Tane Camdy for Saturday, October the 11th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. A fundraiser also for a Buddhist temple out of Westford, scheduled to be held at the Hellenic Cultural Center at 41 Broadway. Jeffrey D. Prescott of the Merrimack Repertory Theater for theatrical performances. There will be a concession sales service 30 minutes prior to the performance and during a 15-minute intermission. Dates in October through November, total of 19 dates. Also for all alcoholic beverages, Fernando E. Silva of the Holy Ghost Society at Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street, for Saturday, October 4th, 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Roberta Wedding, Saturday, October the 11th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Jenga Wedding, Saturday, October 18th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the Madeira Dinner. The Saturday, October the 25th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the Graciosa Dinner. Saturday, November 1st, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the Holy Ghost Band Dinner. Saturday, November 8th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is a wedding reception. Saturday, November 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is a dinner for the Amaze Radio. Saturday, December 6th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the WSB Christmas Party. And last is the New Year's Eve party on December 31st, Wednesday, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay. If you step up, please, if your name was involved on this. Step up to the mic, introduce yourself.
My name's Kim Rennie. Came from Badalam, Yalam.
Which one is he? The first one. Okay.
Fernando Silva, Vice President for the Holy Ghost Society.
Okay. Is Jeffrey here? Jeffrey Prescott, no. Is that you?
Yes, my name's Kamtan Kamdi.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so Jeffrey's the only one that's not here. Jeffrey, once, twice, okay? Stand up there if you would, sir, please. Okay, have you been before us before?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, I know that you have, and I know that. How's things working out, Mr. Silva? Good. Good? No problems, sound, everybody's happy, walking around with a smile on their, beautiful, that's what we like. Okay, you fellas have run these events at the Hellenic Cultural Center. You've always done a really good job with it. I don't see any problem with anything here. Commissioner?
No, I don't see any problems. You guys have always run events. I don't think we've had any reported issues, so with that, I'll make the motion to go ahead and grant the licenses.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. You're all set? Thank you. And if you could just make a note that there was a no-show. Has Jeffrey been before us before from the theater?
It would have been maybe last season.
Okay. All right. What's this here? Oh, okay.
Commission will now open a hearing on the application by a corporation known as Tavares Infante, Inc., DBA La Differentier Restaurant, Jose Infante, President, for a malt beverages and wine-only restaurant license for premises at 192 Middlesex Street, an unnumbered door on the south side of the building. First floor is one room for restaurant, a kitchen, and the basement for storage. It is requested that Jose Infante be approved as the manager of record for the Tavares Infante, Inc., and the corporation is presently a licensee as a common victualler at 192 Middlesex Street. This application requires abutters to be notified in the church, school, or hospital within 500 feet.
Have we getting any? Here?
Well, that's just the affidavit to the effect.
Yeah, the cards. Are there any schools or anything involved?
Yes, there's one school, and there is Salvation Army and 2 Spanish churches, I believe.
And did they even write letters? No.
That's nothing.
No. Okay, have they... Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Attorney George Theodoro, representing Infante Tavares, Inc., in the application for a beer and wine license for La Diferencia Restaurant at 192 Middlesex Street.
Okay. Yeah, I got 'em. Okay. I don't know. Do we want to go into executive session? I know, but,
Yes, they are.
okay.
Would it be discussing the investigation conducted by the
Yeah.
Lowell Police Department? Then, yes, I would
Okay, I'll make a
recommend going.
motion, we go into executive session.
I'll second the motion.
10 past 3, we'll be back by 20 past. Okay.
Need to do a roll call.
Dual call.
Commissioner Occasion?
Yes.
Commissioner Bayless?
Yep.
Commissioner Weicker?
Yep.
Okay, why don't you folks step up here? That's it, okay? Can we make that motion? Do we have to wait the 10 minutes?
I'm gonna make a motion to reconvene early, since we're ahead of our
Commissioner Ocasio?
3:20 schedule.
Commissioner Bayless?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What we want to know, first of all, is, it's a public hearing, so is there anybody here to speak in opposition to this application? Is there anybody here to speak in opposition? In opposition? Hearing none. Is there anybody to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Hearing none. Okay, in your own words, tell us a little bit about what you're going to do.
Oh,
Go over to the mic,
Please
sir.
use the microphone, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get the beer and wine license, not for a party or anything. So I want to, anybody eat and, want beer.
Have you ever
Yeah.
worked with beer and wine or in the liquor business? Have you ever worked in it yourself?
Yeah.
You have? Well, tell me what you've done. What is your experience?
Well, I work in New York City in my brother's store. And we sell beer and wine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where is 192 Middlesex Street?
It's where my restaurant is.
Yeah, where is it? In relationship to,
Oh, downtown.
I'm sorry?
In downtown?
Downtown. Where,
Out the door, make a left.
is it? Right down here?
It's almost opposite the Transitional Living Center, and it's up from the early parking garage. It would be, I think, at the corner of South and Middlesex, South Street around the corner?
Yeah. South, yeah.
Okay. So you're not far from the shelter, though?
No.
Okay. They say a word to the wise is sufficient, all right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of transient people, okay?
Yeah.
The commission's very concerned about, alcohol getting into the wrong hands.
Yes.
So, you might have worked in New York and have you ever taken a tips course? Do you know, have you ever taken a tips course to learn about,
No, yeah.
how you watch people when they're drinking and things to look for?
Yeah, I took one a long time ago in Framingham. Me and my brother try to get a license for the store.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I go take a course. I don't get the license.
okay. And how many hours a week are you gonna put into this?
Well, we open at 8, or we're gonna close at 10.
8 to 10?
Yeah. And a weekend maybe a little late, 1 hour later, no more than 11 o'clock.
Okay. You're not, here's no application for any kind of entertainment, does he? No.
No,
You're not gonna have any music or anything in the restaurant?
no party.
No, I'm not talking about a party. I'm talking about, are you gonna have like a jukebox or a thing for people to play music?
Oh, not right now, maybe in the future.
Okay, all right. Commissioner White?
I have no question. I mean, your application seems pretty complete. Your hours seem pretty reasonable. So I'll pass it off.
Is the restaurant open right now?
Yes.
And is business suffering? Or is that why you're getting is that why you're getting the beer and wine license?
Yes,
Have your patrons requested it?
I can hear that. Oh, yeah.
And your application looks in order to me. Just the one concern, like Chairman Bayless said, is that it's right across the street from the Transitional Living Center, so there's a lot of unique clientele walking in and about that area, so
Yeah.
just be careful and make sure you are very vigilant on who's in there.
I'd be absolutely sure that I was 100% familiar with all the laws pertaining to, because you are putting, how long has the restaurant been open?
And I bought it like 6 months ago, but he operated for a long time. I think 8 years maybe.
Okay, now he operated all those years without beer and wine.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Well, did he or didn't he?
There was a prior beer and wine license at that location that the prior owner had.
There was.
but it was not, he didn't have it when we purchased the business, and we didn't ask for a transfer.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners,
Yep.
what it is that in the late 90s, there was a young woman out of Lawrence who had the business, had a beer and wine license, and gave that license up. She gave up the business, and the license came back to the city. Subsequent business owners, such as Mr. Infante and his wife, came in, did not acquire a beer and wine license, just operated as a Spanish restaurant primarily without alcohol.
Okay. Well, you know, I agree with my fellow commissioners that everything got, and the application looks good and everything, it's all done properly, and we have, you know, as far as I personally have no reason to say no, except, there's always that but. And that the but all just goes to the fact that you're putting yourself into another arena of responsibility. You're kind of upping the ante, if you will. You know, when you're serving food and you're dealing with the public, that sometimes can be difficult enough. But now you're going to add alcohol to it, so now you enter into another level of responsibility, much greater than before. And as long as you understand that,
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the license.
Al, I will second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda.
This is also part of the Jackson, Penn, Middlesex area.
The what?
which is
Jam
sub-
plan.
The jam.
Jam plan,
Jam
yeah.
plan, yeah.
I just think it's a tough area to put a liquor. You know? Hey, you can't blame them for wanting to, okay. Do we have anybody from Chuck E. Cheese here?
No.
Oh,
but I
man.
explained the situation.
You think they'd at least send Chucky up, you know?
Maybe some pizza.
Now, weren't they supposed to send us like a retired four-star general last time? and we
Yeah,
didn't show?
the last time they had General
Petraeus.
Yeah. That's his name. Okay.
Commission will now review an application for the change in the corporation known as CEC Entertainment, Inc. There's a new corporate secretary, this being the business of the Chuck E. Cheese, a beer and wine restaurant licensee at 209 Plain Street. The new proposed secretary is a Meredith Bjork, a resident of Dallas, Texas, and she has been appointed by the corporation's board of directors in place of a gentleman by the name of David Deck. Mr. Deck had, by the way, Mr. Commissioners, had been approved last spring as the new secretary, and apparently he's resigned, and the board of directors have saw fit to appoint Ms. Bjork, and that matter has been filed with the Secretary of State's office in Boston as well. They've filed a certificate of amendment. So,
Sounds like a tough turnover rate.
Yeah,
so Chuck E. Cheese
probably
is-
should have appointed her first. They had to
Anyways,
send Chucky up here to speak to him, you know, I mean, let the kids know that, you know. Anybody have a problem with this? Is just a change in personnel. It's not a,
I'll
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up a matter of an application continued from the meeting of September the 18th. Application by Carway Auto Center, Inc. Lucia McAloon is the president for used car dealer license, Class 2, for premises at 50 Perry Street, an open lot of 5,400 square feet with a building for office and two-bay garage, approximately 1,300 square feet. Presently, the licensee is a Jamie Heitor Padilla, doing business as Pastrada Auto Center. License number is 711-B. There are conditions on the license, a maximum number of vehicles on the premises to be not more than 14, and no junk vehicles or parts, and no parking of vehicles on the street or sidewalk.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Lucia McAloon, the president of the Carway.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You have the license here, okay.
Yes.
The lease agreement with
Yeah.
the property owner, Michael and his wife,
Michael, I, Okay. Have you been in the car business before, Jamie?
Not yet.
Not
But,
yet.
I have a good person that is going to work with me.
Oh, I'm sorry, got wrong, yeah, right person, wrong name. Okay. You're gonna have 14 cars on the lot,
Exactly.
okay? You realize that's the max number of cars you can
Yes,
put
I know that.
okay? Periodically, the registry comes around, we have a couple of hearings going on right now about people that have not kept proper records. So I don't know where you learned that. I'm not in the used car business, but I would hope that, either the former owner or you, somebody would, sit down. There must be some way of learning all of this, how you
Oh, yeah.
keep the ledger and everything so that everybody stays happy. We have the license, I don't see any problems. Anything they're aware of?
I would just want the commission to be aware is that periodically, the Office of Inspectional Services has had reason to go to that location to check to make sure that there are not excessive number of vehicles or that there are unregistered vehicles on the public way, the sidewalk
Yep.
or the street.
We know that, yeah.
And
I got a call today about that very thing, used car dealer parking the cars. They're unregistered, they can't be put on the street.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the lot according to the diagram, as the way they're left out, so that in the event of a fire, the fire department can get in, isolate the problem, and, and that's part of the reason. A lot of folks don't understand that. They wanna pack every car they can into that lot. That's why we tell you up front how many cars you can have. And the secretary just gave some really good advice. They do go around periodic, we don't. But the inspectional services do, and they go around and take a rough count just to check and make sure that, you're staying within the license restrictions. Any questions?
No questions.
Any questions?
Yeah, no questions.
Make a motion to approve the license.
I'll make a motion to approve the license.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's that? What'd I do wrong? I was
Never
kind of
you
slow.
did. I said, I make a motion. You said, I make a motion.
Oh, I said make
Too late.
I thought he was saying to us, make a motion.
I have to come here tomorrow.
if you wish to take the license as early as tomorrow, it would be sometime between.
I cannot wait for today, no?
Not now.
No, okay.
It's still got, the license has
Okay.
still got to be
He's not
prepared.
Superman. He's pretty close.
Okay.
It can't be in two places at once,
get
so
it.
it'll be ready tomorrow.
Thank you.
He-
What
If anybody
time
can do
tomorrow?
it, he can do it.
Okay, so tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay.
Don't get me in trouble now.
If we tell everybody you can be in two places at once, and you'll never have an alibi.
Okay. Commission will now open up a matter of a hearing on allegations of misconduct regarding the incident of August the 9th, 2008, as charged by the Acting Deputy Superintendent Arthur Ryan Jr. against the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee Tyler Perry Corp., doing business as the Dubliner. Lorraine Lucier is the manager of record for premises at 197 Market Street.
Okay. All right, I'm going to recuse myself from this, though.
All right, please introduce yourself.
My name is Lauren Lucia. I'm the owner-manager of the Dubliner.
And my name is Jason Keys. I am the manager of the Dubliner.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to review the complaint?
Yes.
Do you waive the reading of the complaint, or would you like it read?
No, we don't need to read it.
Oh, do you request a hearing on the complaint, or do you want to explain
Well,
what
can
happened?
I speak? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I just want to say that I've read through the police reports, and I've spoken with my bartenders and that were on duty that night, as well as my manager that was there also. And I'd like to say that I feel confident in the judgment of my staff and that I am taking this accusation very seriously. And I stand behind them, and I want to speak on their behalf. And I just want to say roughly around 1:20 a.m., an argument broke out in the men's bathroom, and it was immediately noticed by the staff and stopped. And one of the individuals was asked to leave, and he was immediately escorted out of the bar. He continued to escalate his voice outside on the sidewalk for the person or persons he was arguing with to come outside. That is when my manager called the police, but as he was calling, an unmarked police car drove up. So they stopped, and he explained the situation to them, and then several more police officers pulled up. Inside the bar were the other persons that that person on the sidewalk was arguing with, but we held them back inside because we didn't want them to leave at the same time, because we didn't want anything to happen on the sidewalk, an argument or a fight or whatever. And that's our policy. We don't, if somebody, we always keep the other person inside so nothing escalates on the sidewalk. And once inside, the officers came in. Once inside, they spoke with the other individuals involved in the argument and escorted them outside. Then an officer told my manager he wanted to clear out all the patrons in the bar and close down the bar for the night, which my manager agreed to because there was between 10 to 15 officers in the bar for an argument that was over in a minute. There was never a fight that occurred, just an argument that was stopped immediately. And we give last call at 1:15, and the other customers were having their last drink, minding their own business, and really didn't even know what was going on because it just happened all so quick. And they were all told they had to leave, and the officers were being very aggressive, taking drinks out of their hands. And an officer also informed my manager that we were being cited for an overserved customer. And I've taken this matter very seriously. In fact, I had all of my staff attend a TIPS training course to be recertified, which they all did Monday, September 29th, along with my manager. And I have a written statement from one of my bartenders, that written signed statement that I could give you. And I have one of the other bartender that was on that night.
I just had one question for Ms. Lucier.
Sure, go ahead.
Were you present this night?
No, I wasn't,
Okay.
but I was informed immediately after they called me right up.
But my question was, you just weren't there that night?
No, I
right?
wasn't,
Okay,
but,
thank you.
I mean, I stand behind my staff, like I said,
Officer Finn and Sergeant Seops are here.
Okay, we'd like to hear from them, I guess. Why don't you guys come on up and...
Can you just explain to the board,
Sure.
License Commission, what happened that night?
The night in question, I was working in the downtown area. I was on Market Street when a call came out that they needed some assistance at the Dubliner. I went off at the Dubliner and with Sergeant Seops, Lieutenant Golner, Deputy Ryan, and a few other officers. We went inside. They had stated that there was a fight inside. We went inside. we were told that some of the persons that were involved in the fight were to the right-hand side of the bar. We went to the right-hand side of the bar, and there were 3 or 4 individuals over there. Lieutenant Goldner was speaking with a person that was involved in the incident, and I noticed to the right of me 3 persons standing at the bar. One person I could see that he was intoxicated. He was standing at the bar, he was unsteady on his feet, and he was in the process of drinking a shot of, there were 3 shots lined up, one in front of each person that was sitting at the bar, and they each had a Budweiser beer in front of them. The person that drew my attention was drawn to, like I said, he was unsteady on his feet, and he picked up a shot and drank it. As he did, he fell into a seat, and he was basically legless standing there, standing, and then he fell into the chair. I approached him. I spoke to them. I tried to talk to the kid. He was everything I was saying just went right by him. I told his 2 friends that he was intoxicated and that he should leave the bar. They had to pick him up out of the seat and basically carry him out of the restaurant. He got outside. I tried to speak to him several times. He didn't comprehend anything I was saying to him. I tried to speak to his 2 friends to see how long they had been in there. They basically didn't want to speak to us. Being with his friends, I felt that he was all right to leave with them. That's why we didn't summons the ambulance or anything like that. But he was absolutely intoxicated.
And how long have you been a police officer?
15 years.
Okay. And you've had experience with
I
other
worked in the
incidents?
Vice Narcotics Unit, which deals with alcohol, for 9 years.
So you've had experience with intoxicated individuals?
Yes.
In using your experience, you would say that this individual was
He
very
was,
intoxicated?
well, absolutely intoxicated.
And he was intoxicated to even individuals that don't have your experience?
Yes.
Okay.
He was intoxicated to the extent that he couldn't walk, basically.
Okay. And you observed this personally?
Yes.
Thank you.
When you say you needed help from his friends, I mean, leaning on his friends or like?
They were
Three-man carry.
each on an arm, and he was walking but had a hard time walking. He would have fallen down if they weren't walking with him.
All right. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
I just want to say,
You got to use the microphone.
sorry.
All right, do you have any questions for the officer?
Well, the 3 people that you're speaking about were the ones that were involved in the argument. There was not a fight, it was a verbal argument. No fists, nothing happened. It was a verbal argument. And before you got there, because that's what happened, and those 3 people that you're speaking about were the ones that were involved in the argument. So they were the ones that you went over to talk to. I wasn't there, but this is what, my manager was there. He can talk to you if you'd rather feel comfortable him telling you than myself. But I have another question. If a person is that intoxicated, what is your policy on taking someone, putting them in protective custody?
If I felt that he should be in protective custody, he would have been.
Well,
But
I mean, if he was falling down.
It was of my opinion that he was with 2 people that were okay, and they could take him home. There was also a sergeant, a lieutenant, and a deputy there. If
I
they
know there
felt
were
that-
several officers
If they felt that
there
he was that intoxicated,
for
he wouldn't have been
a
placed.
verbal argument, which we felt was, Do you have anything to say, Jay?
I was there.
You need to use the microphone.
I'm sorry. I was there and I witnessed. I was on duty at that time. So I had the same question. If the individual was so intoxicated and he could barely stand or walk on his feet, how come he wasn't put into protective custody? Which you've answered, so.
In my view, what the police did with the individual really doesn't have any impact on what's going on here today. What's going on here is whether the individual was overserved or not. And
Correct.
Officer Finn testified that, using his years of experience, that he was overserved, and the bartender should be experienced in determining who's been overserved and who hasn't. And if it was obvious to Officer Finn, it should be obvious to the bartender.
Correct.
Whether he was put in protective custody has really no bearing on this proceeding before us.
All right, let me ask, did you have an opportunity to observe this individual?
I was assisting the police in clearing out the bar, so I did not have an
Okay.
opportunity to escort that particular individual. I wasn't even notified who the individual was. The police officer came in and told me that there was someone out on the sidewalk and he appeared to be overserved. My bartenders weren't informed who it was, neither myself.
All right, thanks. Sergeant Seops?
Good afternoon. I had arrived a little bit after everything had happened, as far as the fight and the argument. I was probably one of the last units to arrive.
Please identify yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant Thomas Seops, Lowell Police. I had arrived, probably one of the last units to arrive at the scene. The fight had been broken up, and the Dublin staff, as they said, they were fully cooperative with clearing out the bar. There was no problem with the staff that night, other than when we were clearing the bar out, I observed someone being carried out by two friends. I assigned Officer Finn on that, and he said that he had actually seen him serve, so I said, get their names. He spoke to them. I saw the guy who was being carried out like he had an injury, but instead he couldn't lift his head off his chin off his chest. And I instructed Officer Finn to get his names. I went in and I spoke to the bartenders, told them that there was a pretty obvious infraction of over-service. I notified them that I'd be writing the report. I did go outside, and just to speak briefly to their question of why the person wasn't PC'd, he was definitely a candidate for PC had there not been sober. There was two sober females who we observed. We made sure they had a ride. We didn't just throw them out. He was definitely a candidate for PC had he not had responsible transportation home, who we were comfortable with. So the person, it can be both. He can be a candidate for PC and not be PC'd because we had an alternative solution.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any questions for Sergeant Seops? Or, okay.
Excuse me. I do have another thing to say. Jason, we do take these allegations very seriously. We've been in business about 3.5 years. All my bartenders are tip certified, and as the Lorraine Lucia just said, we did have them re-tip certified on Monday. We definitely take this very serious, and at no way in shape.
Thank you. All right. Does anybody have anything they would like to add at this time? Let me ask, sir, before you speak, were you a witness to these events?
No.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. All right, having heard the evidence, I'm of the opinion that there was a person who was overserved at the location. I'm going to make a motion to scale back your hours to 11 o'clock for 1 week.
I'll second that motion.
All right.
Can I address that? No.
Not at this time, no. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't appeal that or address that? Can I appeal that or address that?
You can speak on the matter, but
I
believe the law leaves the opening of any alcohol establishment past 11 o'clock to the discretion of the local license authority, and I think the law department can speak on that.
If you make a decision, he has no right of appeal to the ABCC. If he wants to pursue it in Superior Court, he's free to do that. The hearing is closed. You gave your decision. If you want to hear something from him, you can, but the hearing is closed. There's no obligation to hear anything further.
As Attorney Leahy just said, the decision's been made. You can speak if you'd like to, but we've already made our decision.
Well,
You can appeal the decision to the Superior Court.
It's just a brief statement. I would like to know if there was a police officer outside of any bar, any restaurant at the closing time, if the same offense would be recorded. It's just a statement.
I'll simply
outside
say-
of any single bar after 2 a.m., if an officer was posted outside, would the same offense be recorded?
I'll simply note that that's not a proper question. That's not
It's a
related to any
statement.
proceeding before this
Just a statement.
commission.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Where we have that is next on the agenda.
So when does this take effect? And if we appealed it, does it take effect? I mean, how does this work? We
You
don't
need to
know.
The License Commission can say when it starts, it could start forthwith. If you want to appeal that, you would need to speak to an attorney right away.
Okay.
Make a motion to have the suspension start, or the rollback start forthwith.
All right, I'll second that motion.
What is forthwith? What is
All in-
forthwith?
Motion made and seconded?
Yes.
Yes.
Meaning when to when?
Meaning that it starts today,
And when does it end?
for 7 days.
So how do we appeal it? We can't.
You can speak with an attorney. You may be able to,
But if it's going to take effect tonight, I don't know how do we do something like that?
You should speak to counsel as soon as possible.
yeah, I can't give you legal advice on that.
Okay. What? Yeah.
Should we bring the chairman back in?
Yeah. The commission will now open the hearing. He's out. I think he's out. We'll open a hearing on the complaint by the residents of the Market Mill Apartments at 246 Market Street of noise late at night and early morning, coming from the establishment The Dubliner at the 197 Market Street address. Residents' complaint is in part caused by the establishment's front door kept open. Does anybody wish to speak on it?
Yeah, since this one is a complaint by the residents of Market Mills, do we have anybody here from Market Mills to speak?
Or do we have anybody from the downtown community that wishes to speak?
My name is Stephen Green. I reside at 181 Market Street, and that is literally adjacent to the Dubliner. I do not have any personal issue with the noise because I'm on another end of the building, although there has been numerous complaints by neighbors and that there's been excessive noise late at night from music at the Dubliner. So I'm basically a third-party witness to this matter. The folks from the Market Mills who had been at earlier meetings are not here today. I don't know what the story is with that. So I don't know if it's a matter of we request a continuation or just close this matter and then bring it back up again at another time.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Thank you. You want to say something on the matter?
Okay, on the noise complaint.
Could you just identify yourself?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jason Keys. I'm manager of the Dubliner.
Laurie Lucia, owner manager of the Dubliner.
Okay. Please go ahead.
As we know, this complaint was brought as of last meeting. I've never, ever heard of a complaint, especially a noise complaint, from these people. As soon as I was aware of it, the next day I went down to address the situation. I actually saw Mr. Nguyen and asked him if that was okay for me to talk to them, to set up a meeting. I went to them, to the apartment complex. I spoke with the property manager. I actually handed him a note stating that I'd like to have a meeting at the Dubliner with all the individuals that had complaints and himself. He agreed to that meeting. This is the note. If you want to- I'm sorry about the penmanship, but that was done the very next day. Reason for showing you that note is we do take this very seriously. I wasn't aware of any complaints from them. Several actually of the people actually come into our restaurant for food, and I've never heard of a complaint. We did speak with the property manager. We set up a meeting for the following Monday. Miss Lucia and I were at the Dubliner, and no one showed. We waited approximately half an hour. We went, her and I walked over, and we asked the property manager what was the problem, how come no one showed up. He seemed a little bit oblivious to when the meeting was supposed to be or whatever, so he said, we'll have a meeting now. Lorraine and I sat down, we had a meeting with him, and he said honestly, he didn't know of any complaints. So I had the complaint which I received from Mr. Ryan, and I read off the complaints. And he said that he wasn't aware of any complaints. What we agreed to do was to keep a log. He was going to keep a log. Any complaints that he got from any of his residents, he was going to keep a log, would notify us. I gave him my cell phone number, Lorraine's cell phone number, said he could call 24/7. I have not received one call from that date.
Has the police department received any calls regarding the noise coming from the Dubliner?
Since June, we've had 4 complaints of noise, all between the hours of midnight and 1:30 a.m. At least 3 out of the 4 complaints appear to be complaints about the crowd leaving at closing time as opposed to music or jukebox from inside.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I will note for the record that this mostly talks about car noise, car stereo noise, motorcycle noise, and crowds. And
We do take it seriously. We have, as you stated in the last meeting, we have been shutting down early. As far as to the noise with the door opening, we only let 3 individuals at a time, so one door is always shut. I am out there all night, making sure if anybody is loud, they are not allowed back into the bar. This isn't just a job, it's not a business, it's my life, and I take it very seriously. As far as any noise complaints, I've been there for 3.5 years. I am there 24/7. Have never once heard of a noise complaint. No officer or no resident has come to me with a noise complaint. Three and a half years.
Can I just ask if he has 4 complaints, how come we weren't notified?
You know, I'm just going to make a motion to keep this on file. Look, I've been downtown. I've been downtown at, different hours, and I can vouch that I have seen the outside.
Absolutely.
So, and you guys are not one of the locations in town that has a reputation for being noisy and rowdy. So we'll just keep it on file at this point, as if that's my motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
So where to go?
All right.
We just requested that maybe the police department take a ride by there tonight and make sure that they're closed at 11 o'clock.
We'll check that.
Thank you.
The continuation of the agenda, we have communications. Superintendent of Police, Kenneth LaValle, has filed a letter dated September the 23rd, 2008, alleging that the Palin Restaurant, Inc., Racy Ann manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 68 Branch Street, has been in violation, alleged violation.
Bring him in. Make a motion to bring him in.
Second.
And
Favor say yes.
Yes.
Recuse myself on
You do?
Okay.
On the Palin?
the Palin. yes.
Okay.
So for purposes of any notice sent to the licensees regarding a complaint, where if the board wishes to consider a reduction of hours as a public need, we need to advise them or send notice at least 14 days. 14
Advise
days.
them of it.
You want to
because-
put, can I amend that motion to make it for November 6th then, so that it complies with the time standards?
Okay.
Okay. Advise them of it. From reading the police report, I think they pulled an old-fashioned wedding where they just left the beer all out on the tables, which we have told, no way.
Should wait until the
Excuse me?
hearing. Should wait until the hearing, and just address everything at the hearing.
Okay. Next.
Commission has received a communication from one of the business owners of the Atlantic Liquors, Charles Byrne. The business is at 424 Chelmsford Street. Communication is dated September 30th, 2008, and he wanted to express his point of view that the Highlands section of the city of Lowell has sufficient number of alcohol beverage retail stores, and he would be opposed to any issuance of an additional beer and wine package store license. He just wanted to be make that note for the record.
Okay, are we getting, is there another license application right now?
Nothing
on file?
in the Highlands section. I do have, in fact, there is an application that was filed early this afternoon for the Acre section of the city.
Yeah.
Not too far from City Hall, at the corner of Suffolk and Market Street. Convenience store that exists there now. Husband and wife wish to have a license to sell beer and wine. That application has been given to you. I told the gentleman that the earliest the commission could hold a hearing on it would be for, say, the first meeting in November, November the 6th.
Okay, put it on.
Would need a legal notice to be published in the newspaper with the butters to be notified in any church, school, or hospital within 500 feet. And probably for all practical purposes, I think the intent would be for some time after the first of the year.
Okay.
If they were to be treated favorably by the board on this matter. But that's, obviously, that's jumping ahead of the game.
Okay, well, this letter is, and I read the letter, and just a brief comment is, just so that everybody out that's watching the program knows how this works. For someone to apply for a beer and wine license, they're required by law to notify an abutter. They are also required to publish in the newspaper that they are going for that license. Third, I think this guy sleeps here. I think he does. I don't know. We've been trying to find out. But the point is that it's all public information. And so when somebody comes in here before this board and they're looking for a beer and wine or an all-alcoholic license for a restaurant or whatever, those items are public information. And if you have a concern, you got to take some time out of your busy day and show up here at 3 o'clock. Now, most of you, if you saw the meeting last month, we had a gentleman who had put a lot of work, and you had to admire the fact that he collected a lot of signatures and put a lot of work into opposing a beer and wine license. But bottom line, when it comes down to it, he was standing here by himself. There was nobody else that was willing to come forward. And so, you know, it's very difficult for this board and the city, when we represent the city, to take an objective look. It's very easy to sign a piece of paper and say, let somebody else, stick their head in the noose or fight the battle or whatever you want to call it. You know, we all want the other guy. We all want the police there every moment of every day when we need them, Nobody ever stops to think they got a lot more important things to do than standing there. They'd probably rather be home with their family. So we need to know that. We need to know that you got to take a few moments out of your life and come in and either appear before this board so that we can get a feel for what's going on in the community as far as issuing any of these licenses. That's really about all I got to say about it. But the letter was a good letter, but it's a letter. And I think they have to take some time out and come in and explain their position on it, if there are others. So everybody's going to be notified, and if they come, that's what Ryan goes through all. Where's one of them with the green cards? Just, one of them, he'll show you, got our green cards. Everybody got the letter. They signed for it. So they got the letter. It's return receipt requested. They're required by law. So if nobody shows after that, I think we've all done due diligence. Anything else?
Nothing at the moment. I just wanted the commission to reflect on the, sangrias. I received an email, apparently it's a broadcast type email from the owner of Sangrias. And I had a conversation with the gentleman, two weeks ago, that he was going to do some changes to the business, but he didn't specify, and he had not filed anything. And I suggested what he needed to do, but in any event, the email that I received indicates that Sangrias is changing its format. I've done a search with the Secretary of State's office under the corporation that's presently holding the liquor license. There had been no amendments made to the corporation. I'm assuming all that the owner is doing, that is Michael Doyle of the, who is the principal sole officer of Sangrias, is just changing from a type of Mexican cuisine to a Irish type of cuisine with, and
If they change their doing business as name, are they supposed to notify the board or notify the?
there was never a DBA filed with the application. When this was a transfer of license about a year ago, and the corporation was just as it is, Sangrias Inc., and nothing was added to it. There was no DBA filed. So in all probability, Mr. Doyle was thinking in terms of whether he would retain the Sangrias Mexican type of cuisine and menu and entertainment, and or whether he would change it. And so apparently this is something of a transition. So if you wish, I can contact I will send him a notice to request that he file something if he's going to.
Well, he'd be changing the name, right?
The thing is that first of all, he approached the License Commission office asking what he needed to do, but he didn't give me specifics as to what it was he had in mind.
Because it seems as if it's under Sangrias Inc., so that doesn't have to change.
The license is issued to the corporation.
To the corporation.
Right.
It's just, but if you notice on our application for a license, there is a place where you put business name, and if they're
Right.
gonna be known as Mickey's Bar and Grill, then maybe they should put us
Update
on
us.
notice of that they're gonna be.
Well, I think that's the point I'm trying to make now, is that he initiated something with the office, and then there was no follow-up on it, and then I get an email in a broadcast format that he's broadcasting his change in business, and he's making it appear that this is new management, this is a whole new operation. It's one thing to send it to the general public, but to send it to the office of the License Commission, I have to bring it to your attention. I
Yeah.
just feel that's all.
It does say new manager on
If
it.
it's a new manager,
It's a new
they need to come in,
manager,
get the new manager
new kitchen
New
staff.
kitchen staff, so he is gonna, I mean, obviously, so he, I think you ought to follow and tell him, I mean.
All right, I just wanted to clear it with
Good
the
job.
board.
Yep.
That's-
Yep.
Just want to make sure you understand.
Okay.
Appreciate the
I don't want to
update.
create a World War III out there and anti-business type of mentality in
No,
the
no.
office.
Anything else?
Does anybody ever actually, I say this being Irish, but has anybody ever actually heard of Irish cuisine? Has anybody ever said,
called a
let's
potato."
go up for Irish food?
It's called Guinness.
Okay, there we go.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right. Do you have anything?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Nothing? Nothing. Everybody's happy, everybody's smiling. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Coming home, Benjamin.